what am I supposed to do with this? Look at it, just stupid hair. Hi guys, I have just filmed this makeup tutorial. It is a smoky eye and a lip butter or something on my lips, a complete lip look, because I wanted something quite easy and quite straightforward for my lips. It did take me a little bit of time, and I used this Dior palette, and I'll show you what it looks like. I've used every single colour from this palette and nothing else to create this look. This is how it turned out, so if you want to see how I did this, then just keep watching. I have already put my moisturiser on my face. The next thing I want to do is actually prime. So I'm going to use my 17 primer, which I did a review on, so check that out if you haven't seen it. I'm going to take a really small amount of this because you really don't need a lot. Just going to rub it between my fingers, forehead, cheeks, chin. I have a massive zit like on my face as well, which I obviously will show you how I cover it up. And again, I know this is a little bit light, but once you cover it in foundation, it's fine. It's actually like a painful spot as well. Not that anybody wants to know that, but it's a painful little bastard. Okay, so I'm going to go in with my foundation, and it's my MAC Studio Fix Fluid in NW35. Gonna put a couple of blobs just onto my beauty blender and just start blending stuff in. People seem to keep requesting like more makeup tutorials, and I'm having like a secret heart attack inside because I'm like, well, you know, I'm having a little bit of a heart attack inside, but I am going to carry on trying keeping up to date with them. It's just not covering this pimple. It's ridiculous. Just not covering it at all. Put some there. My skin's like broken out recently. I don't know what it is. I don't think I'm using anything different to what I was using before, but something is not agreeing with me at the moment. I'm just not entirely sure what it is. Haven't changed my moisturiser, haven't changed my foundation. Really not sure. Like, I just think it's probably karma for swearing on the internet. Again, I'll try and keep most of this in like I did last time, but certain things you guys probably don't want to see over again because I really do use the same technique, so. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of concealer now. So I'm going to start with my NW35 in Studio Finish, and it's the little pot, and this will be to cover up the face blemishes first. So this will be to help cover up this little bad boy just here. I don't really know how to make it look less obvious. I don't really think there's anything I can do. Oh well, it's just there chilling on my face. Don't want to like cake too much concealer on either, because when you put the powder on it just kind of sticks to it in certain areas. Just going to go around my nose. I find it much easier to do like my hair afterwards. I find it really hard to try and keep my hair out of my face. And so then I'm going to go in with my corrector, which I love. It's my Bobbi Brown Peach, and it'll probably be my favourite corrector for a really, really long time. Just to help get rid of some of that dark shadow underneath my eye. And then I will go over it with a concealer anyway. But you can tell straight away that that sort of just takes a lot of the shadow away. And it's exactly the same technique I used last time. I'm not one of these people that changes my products up all the time. I just haven't got the money to spend trying new products every week. I really haven't. And also I don't really have time to go out and look for products either. So once I find something that works, I generally stick to it for quite a while, until it runs out, or until like there's a massive YouTube hype about something that sounds great. But I generally only tend to do it if I'm running out of a product. Otherwise I don't spend money on stuff I don't need, I don't think. Then I'm going to go in with concealer. So I'm going to use MAC Studio Finish again, but I'm going to use a much lighter colour. I'm going to go in with NW30, which is definitely too light for my normal skin, but it works really well under the eyes just to brighten everything up a little bit more. So I'm just going to put that in like a big U or like triangular shape underneath. So that is just going to be patted in with my finger, and I really like having the whole lighter concealer under my eyes. Like at first I thought it would look really unnatural and it would just look cakey and grey and ashy, but actually it really doesn't if you like blend stuff in. Plus I find using a primer beforehand really makes a difference, whereas I never used to do that before. I never used to be that bothered about like the application. I just used to lap everything on and just kind of see what happened there. So what we need to do now is we basically need to set everything with a powder. You know what, I was looking for this the other day. I'm not even entirely sure they still make this, but I was wanted to just kind of use it up because I really have had it for a really long time. That's just going to go over my eyelids first and around my cheek area. And then I'm going to do my forehead and just sort of push it into my skin. Goss makeup artist always says that you shouldn't swipe. It's really hard not to, but I'm just going to try and push everything in. And then I can use like a slightly smaller brush and take a little bit more of that and just like pat it underneath my eyes to like individually set that. A lot of you were saying that was something I didn't do, so I just thought actually that's probably a much more precise way of getting it in the right place, because I start to get wrinkles and it's not very nice. So that is just going to go underneath there. Next thing I want to do is actually use an eye primer. So I'm going to put my eye primer on. Last time I used a paint pot, this time I'm going to use Lemonade by Benefit and just lap that onto my eyelid. And this is just to make sure that the shadows stick and also to even out the skin tone on your eyelid as well. What I'm going to do is grab a flat shader brush. With like smoky eyes, you need one brush that's going to do all the application, and then you need a different brush that's going to do all the blending. So I'm actually going to make it really, really simple. I'm going to use a Dior palette, which I've had for absolutely ages. It's really expensive, but you can definitely dupe all of the colours. The only reason I'm using this palette is because it's got all the colours I want in it. So the first thing I'm going to do is go in with this grey colour here, and I'm just going to put that all over the lid as my base colour. And I know it's really light, but I'm just going to put it all over the lid and use that as my base. So the next thing I want to do is take the slightly darker purpley colour that's next to it there, and I'm going to place that in the middle of my lid. So I'm going to kind of use the lighter colour in the inside and then use this kind of purpley colour just more towards the middle of my actual eyelid. So it just gives it a slight purple sort of colour. I know it looks really bright, but I will kind of blend everything out. The next thing I want to do is actually put this brown into my crease and just blend it like inwards, but I'm talking really, really, really blended. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to take a tiny little bit of that on my 217, and I'm just going to start from the outside and just work it all the way in, just to blend out the harsh edges of the bright colour that we've put inside. And I want the brown to go quite far in on the actual lid. So, and you can bring it in, you can start from like a third of the way in, do circular motions, and you'll find it really easy to blend. Number one, because the eyeshadow quality is really good, and number two, because you've already put that base layer on underneath of the white eyeshadow, so you'll find it actually really, really straightforward to blend. So I'm just going to blend that in and push it into the inside of the lid. And it's fine if you go over that purple bit in the middle, because I did want it to start blending in anyway. So start on the outer third and then just move it in. If you feel like all you're doing is pushing the colour around, you can always take a clean brush and then just go in again and just keep blending with it. So I'm going to take a little bit more of the brown, just the tiniest little amount, and again start on the outside and just work your way in. And you can see how that starts to sort of push the purple inward a bit, because I didn't want that to be too bright, but I might take a clean blending brush in a moment and just blend all this out a bit better. Once you've done that on both sides, so you've got that lighter colour, you've got that purpley colour, and then you've got like the brown that's just been blended in. Just want to make it like a tiny little bit darker. So what I will do is take a tiny little blob of this black, And I'm talking, it does have a tiny bit of shimmer in, but I really don't think it matters. And then what you want to do is place the black like right onto the corner of the eye. Just put a little circle of the black right there. And then do the same on the other side so you know where the dot is. And then blend on that and use that as your main focus point. So if I do a little dot just there. And you can join the dot up, like you can definitely join it up with the actual lash line, but you just want an idea of like where to start. And this is what I find like helps just keep everything a bit more even. So I'd start with a little dot there, and then what I'll do is I'll take the blending brush I've already used and I'll just use that to just buff that in a little bit. And then you can always go in, because once you can see where the darker colour is concentrated, you use that as just a rough guide of where to keep your brush. If you lose the colour of the other colours, you can always just go in, add to it. But I'm just going to use this as a guide. But like you push the brown into the actual crease, you don't want to do that with this colour, you just want to keep it on the outside of the eyelid. Just completely keep working it in and bring it up a little bit if you want to. But I think the idea of like smoky is, yeah, you can go as high as you want, you can do all sorts of things with a smoky eye. I just prefer to keep it on the outside because I have very, very small eyes, and I find if I go in too far, like I did with one of my last videos, I just found it made my eyes look really, really tiny. I take a little bit of that brown and a little bit of the purple and kind of just mix it together, and then just kind of put that right into the middle of my lid again. And that just sort of fills in that little gap because I can see it starting to get a little bit sparse. So I'm going to do my eyeliner and then come straight back in a second. So now I'm back. I've done the top liner, and the next thing I'm going to do is go in with a brown eyeliner pencil just to do the bottom or underneath the actual lower line. And then I'll go in with a black and I'll do the waterline itself. I tend to not go like too dark. I just don't think it suits me at all. And then I'm going with the black, which is from just an Urban Decay one. And I'll just put that onto my waterline. So to curl my lashes first, which I will do, and I will add mascara to the top and bottom lashes, and then I'll definitely come back in a second. So next thing I'm going to do is contour my cheeks, and I'm going to do this again using that really slim brush I always use, plus I've got my Guerlain Terracotta bronzer, which I absolutely love. I'm just going to tap that in and just draw a slightly darker line just there, and I'm just going to bring whatever's left over up my cheek, up the side of my face. I don't feel like going too far down with this, so I'm just going to kind of concentrate it there. And then we'll take a little bit more and just do my jawline down there. This just makes my face look a little bit slimmer, and you just kind of want to blend in the colour also of your foundation. So the Revlon Matte in Blushing Berry. I used to use it like every day at one point, and then I think I lost it and found it again. It's one of my favourite blushes in the world, and I'm just going to put that just on top of the contour and bring it all the way back. I haven't actually decided what the hell I'm going to do on my lips yet. I'll probably decide that like right at the last minute. Haven't actually decided. I might actually just use lip butter, but maybe with a lip liner or something. Next thing I'm going to do is go in with a highlighter. I found this really amazing highlighter in one of these palettes I had. And this is MAC Fabricadabra Bonds Face Kit. And I noticed that they have like this really cute like shimmery gold colour, which I'm just going to put on the top of my cheekbones there. You can only see it like very slightly when the light hits it, but I was just like really excited when I found it. And then just on top of my lip like that. So we'll go in with a lip liner. So I'm just going to go down the outside of my lips like that. And actually I'm going to go back into the eyes and just sort that out, because I do want it to be a little bit darker. I lost a lot of the colour when I was like faffing around. And all I'm going to do is just press that in. I'm just going to dab it. I never swipe these because I find them really, really bright. But I do wear this in some videos, and a lot of you guys ask what it is. And it's actually like just a regular lip butter in Lollipop, which I absolutely love. But if you think it's too bright, you can obviously just dab it off a little bit. But I am going to go back and finish the eyes. So taking my Dior palette again and taking the same brush, I'm just going to go in with the flat brush again, and I'm actually just going to add into that purple, and then just on the inside bit, and then I'm just going to pop a little bit of the brown like next to it, and then I'm just going to start blending again with a black and blend that across in the middle. I think it's a really pretty choice of like colours to have in a palette like this, because it's really unusual. You don't really think of them working together, but they actually do. So that's just going to go on the outside bit there. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in with a little black blob method, because I think that works really well for making things even. I'm like the worst person for making eyeshadow even. I find if I just put a little black blob on the top of my winged eyeliner, just like that, I know exactly where I've got to blend. So you can actually use a really small brush to do this if you want to. But it blends really easily because you've already got shadow and stuff underneath. I'm probably going to use a slightly bigger brush, it just is easier for me. And I'm just going to blend that into the brown again. And there's already a highlighter in this palette as well, which makes things even better. Next thing I'll do is probably like do the highlighter. I'm just going to go in with the white one in just with my finger, and I'm just going to put that underneath and blend it in a little bit and do exactly the same. You definitely don't need to waste time with brushes unless you want a really precise application. Exactly the same on this side. You can also put this a little bit down the middle of your nose as well. I also have an Illumi eyebrow kit, which I was actually sent, and I will do a review on this because I think it's great. I can't find the brush, but I will find it, and I'm just using that and mixture of those two just to blend in to my eyebrows. So take the brown with a tiny little bit of black and just blend the two, and then just fill in like the front of my brow. I probably do need to cut the brow very, very slightly as well. And yeah, someone commented about like my eyebrows and filling them in, and I know it makes a huge difference. I just forget sometimes. But if I was going to go to a wedding, I'd probably spend a lot longer. Then I hope that looks a little bit more filled in. And do the same on the other side. And if you do like short strokes and blend it as you go, it does look a little bit more natural. I just want it to look a little bit more filled. I'm not too worried if the shape's not absolutely like perfect. I might just add in a little bit more black because it's still not as dark as I want it to be, which is just annoying me now because every time I blend I just lose half the colour. So I'm just going to go in with the black. I'm going to put it straight onto my 219. Sorry, 217. I'm just making numbers up now. And you could remember, you can make these looks like as dark as you want them. That's probably a bit better because it looks a little bit darker now. And like I said, once you've got your eyeliner on there, you've got like a rough guide of exactly where to like stop the blending and stuff. And if you think you've done too much, I tend to go in with like the other side of the brush that's a little bit cleaner, and just blend that out a bit. So, but now I've sort of got the intensity I wanted, but you can see that you can definitely like build this up. So that is what it finally looks like. You can definitely use a tape method if you want to get like a completely straight line. Again, I'm filming on my iPhone 5, and I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this tutorial. You know, with a bit of practice, I might get a little bit better at this. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.